I really dislike long introductions, so I'll try to be brief. Back in the day, we're talking 2006, 2007, I had a channel on YouTube. Channel name was Aviator, which is a play on my initials and an ER at the end. Made a lot of videos. A lot of them had to do with singing. A couple of them had to do with Halo. A lot of them were really cringy. Some of them I made private. But I had a lot of fun doing it, and I really enjoy playing video games. So I decided to make this. Thank you for watching. This is Minecraft. The first thing I noticed, that's weird, and so is that. This is the first time I booted up into Minecraft on the new Nether update. So it threw me a little bit, but it's different. And I even named the world appropriately. So I'd recently spent a lot of time playing this game online with some friends on a server that I had set up, private server, just a few of us, prior to the Nether update. We kind of all stopped playing. I removed the server just because, you know, it was costing me money per month, and I decided to go ahead and just get booted up with the new Nether as soon as it came out. So here we are, and I loaded up a new world and just kind of started to get right to it. Got some wood going here. You know, I remember back in the original days of Minecraft being so much more labor intensive, trying to make wood, planks and sticks and stuff like that, where you couldn't just drag it. So I kind of looked around. You know, I got wood tools set up, figured out, started to just sort of explore. There was water. I was in a taiga biome to start with, if I remember correctly, right next to some birch there, as you can kind of see. And yeah, I figured, well, so here's some gravel. I may as well get some flint. So I started digging through that. Found that after a few tries, I think, here. Yeah, there we go. Gathered that up, and then I ended up just getting some cobble. Decided to go ahead and just get that done, too. I don't really mess around too much, especially on the first day of a new world. I try to get all the basics that I need. I don't usually set up base right away. I just kind of go for it and figure wherever I'm going to end up, I'm going to end up. Found some trout, decided to cut them up for some food for later if I needed it. Found some wild berries. I think that's what they're called, wild berries. Sweet berries. Found some sweet berries, got them going. Tried not to poke myself too bad. And just kind of kept on exploring, looking around. You know, it's very hilly. A lot of spots separated by water. Big gravel mountain there. There's a little spot here to the left that I thought could be promising. I didn't have any torches yet, but I figured I'd knock some of the sand out here and just kind of look. Looked decent, so I just kind of noted it in my head for a bit. Found some cows pretty quickly, noted them, went to say hi. A couple of mushrooms, you know, hanging out. There's a lot of canopy here, so it doesn't really surprise me, or didn't really surprise me, rather. Yeah, I mean, you got a nice little landscape here, a lot of canopy. You can see some. So there's some sheep down there that I actually did not see when I did that. I ended up actually not getting cotton for a while. If I had seen that, I would have definitely went down or at least noted it, but I didn't see them. So got some wood there. Notice it took me a few tries to cut it. That's because I'm so used to the server I was on. Everything was efficiency, you know, maxed out efficiency. So I was used to being able to just switch away. So I checked out this mountain area here. Kind of neat looking, you know, some interesting layout. But at this point, all I was looking for was coal or iron. So found the coal pretty quickly, mined it for a while, actually mined it well into the dark. At this point, I had a pretty decent chunk of it, and I knew it was getting dark. So I climbed down here and knew it was running out of time. I didn't really want to make a dirt hovel because I didn't really have any dirt. All I had was coal and some gravel. And gravel doesn't really work for a house that well or at all. So I started looking around, and without too much thought, I just started digging right into this side of this mountain here. And I ended up just making a little hole here. Got it above 2 blocks so that I wasn't scraping my head because it drives me crazy. Set up some stuff here. Got a little chest going so I could drop off some of my crap. Now, the first thing I usually do in a new world when I camp out for the night is I just start digging. And it pains me to say this, but most of the time I end up just basing right near spawn, and it's not for any uh, particular reason other than I am clumsy. In that, what I mean by clumsy in Minecraft is that I will forget to reset my spawn point in my bed. I'm not a pro by any means, so I just didn't want to die and then end up being stuck at spawn 1,000 blocks away. So I usually base up pretty close. If I decide to venture out, then I really have to just be extremely cognizant. Yeah, here I went down. As you can see, I kind of just mined down, trying to get down to level 13 or 12. And I came back up, and it was daylight, and there was a skeleton waiting for me there. So got some bones there. Figured that'd be good for getting some bone meal and maybe growing some trees here shortly thereafter. So yeah, that was the first night. Pretty uneventful. Got some coal, and I dug a hole in the ground and put stairs on it. But yeah, so I started looking around a little bit more. I found some chickens pretty quick. These guys were real close to me, so I noted them. Didn't want to kill them and just take them for the meat. Figured they would be a good seed for later. And speaking of seeds, I decided to get some. I thought of it at the time and figured, well, I may as well get a couple of them so I can bait some in. Now, this is the cave that I was at earlier. Decided to go back and kind of take a look. So when I mined down that whole night, which I did the whole night, I did not find a single block of iron. But I went back here and I found some, thankfully. Not a lot of them. I think maybe at most I found 4, which was fine. All I really wanted was 3 to get an iron pick so that I could get, the stuff that I want to get. I'm a preparer by nature, so I mean, I left those chickens there so that I could go get them later. I didn't want to have to go 200 blocks away to find animals to bring back to mate and get, feathers and stuff like that. I did the same thing with the cows, and I would tell anybody that plays this game to do the same thing. Don't just kill all the animals around where you're going to base up. So I went back and just started mining down. At this point, I actually heard, I think, a bat flap or a bat hiss, which that usually indicates that there's a cave nearby. So I wanted to find the cave. I was really desperate for iron still, so I wanted to get a good chunk of it. Went down and went in. I was kind of just mining in any direction. I couldn't tell which way they were coming from. It's so hard, even with the little sound captions there. I just couldn't figure it out. So I got frustrated and decided to go back up my long winding staircase. And that's something else I would tell you too. So you notice that on the top there, I have enough room where I'm not smacking my head, and I put stairs in. I mean, you're digging through cobble anyway. You got plenty of it. Make stairs. You don't have to eat near as much coming out of your cave to restore your stamina. So I went back down that same night and actually ended up finding where they were coming from. I could hear the water, and that's actually what clued me in on it. So I started breaking that away. Bit of water here. I couldn't tell where it was, so I just kind of put cobble down until I found it. Source block was right there, so that took care of it. And more iron right there. So that was kind of fun. Yeah, and I knew it was going to be promising because I had zombies right away. So I figured, well, it's big enough that there's going to be spawn. That means I should be able to find some good stuff. So I started venturing in right away. Got torches up. So the first thing you're going to notice is I always put torches on the left going in, unless there's an apparent entrance. Yeah, I see you saw the creeper in there. I tried walling it up. He walked on just before I could, so I kind of just had to fight him. Unfortunately, I was a little bit higher up than I thought I was, and that happened. Luckily, I was able to jump away quick enough, but I wasn't terribly worried about it. My bed was up top. I'm not playing hardcore. If I do die, I can always come back down. See, the thing is, I don't want to play this game feeling stressed out that I'm going to die more than I already do. So I just don't do hardcore, and you might call me lame for doing that, but I just don't. But yeah, another creeper there. So yeah, I always put torches on the left side of the walls going in, unless there's an apparent break or an entrance there where I need the light. I don't like to take chances with mobs spawning on me when I don't know they're there. I can't always play with headphones on, or I don't always play with headphones on because I just don't. That's why I got the audio captions there. So sometimes I don't notice them, and if I have a creeper walk up on me, I'm not going to hear it, and it's going to blow up, and it's going to kill me. So, yeah, so I just kind of explored this area for a while, looking for iron mainly. As you can see, I was ignoring a lot of coal at this point because I had enough. There, that freaked me out. I thought it was diamond, and I almost crapped my pants. But I'm like, no, it's just one block of emerald, which I still went ahead and mined anyway. So here I was looking for the lava sound that you could probably hear there. I found it, found a block of iron, and then decided, well, where there's lava, sometimes there's diamonds. So I decided to go look, and no, there was nothing up there. But it's always worth checking. Plus, now I know where that is. If I wanted to go get some obsidian or something, I can. Creepers were spawning. I was still lighting up the cave, so it's gonna happen. Usually, the first few days of playing on a new world, I'll definitely headphone up all the way because there's just so many dangers. And I just don't like dying and having to go find me again. Right there, I missed a bunch of good swings and I got hit pretty hard. Decided to go back up and get some more wood. I needed torches and I had plenty of coal, but I had almost no wood left, so I went up and got some wood. I went pretty far away here and decided that the cows, I had seen cows somewhere else, so decided that one and a few others that I was okay with just taking out so that I could eat something. So I didn't have a lot of food sources yet. I hadn't really set up any garden or anything of that nature just yet, so I was just kind of looking around and I found sugarcane. So I was pretty stoked about that. Sugarcane is huge. I'm a very big advocate of mapping. I don't like to get lost, and I hate. And the thing is, I know you can't really get lost, but if you know how to read coordinates. But I hate reading coordinates. I'd rather map it out. Plus, then when I'm done, I've got a map that I could put on the wall, or I could make it into a big, big display of a map. So here you can see I'm finally putting a door up. So I did that. Got a pressure plate down, so I didn't have to open it every time. And I don't put pressure plates outside of it. I just put the little buttons up so that I can get in, but other things can't. So I went back down into the mine. Decided to start keeping on going and walk past it there. Yeah, just kept on going. Decided to see it. So I had basically all but decided that I was going to mine down to level 12, which, if you're not familiar, so if you go down to layer, not level, if you go down to layer 12, that's where you're going to find the heaviest concentration of diamonds. But you're high enough up that you don't run into lava lakes and end up burning yourself to death. When you get close to bedrock, that'll happen. Now, you probably see, I checked the coordinates here. You can see if you pause it that it will show what chunk I'm at and what layer on the chunk I am in the center of that. So that's what I'm going off of. That's what I use. I've already got a base set up. I may as well do it. Even if I decide to move, I can always do that, but at least I've got some materials to do it. Here's where I found my first redstone. So I got that. And that was almost exactly at level 12. That was actually at level 10, 11. You can see I cobbled up there basically just to get a little spot set up so that I could come back later with a trapdoor, and I'll explain what that is and why I do it that way. So I decided to go back up and get some water set up here so it's a little bit easier. I realized I went down without having a water bucket. That's a big no-no. You got to have a water bucket. If you run into a lake of lava and you don't have fire resistance whatsoever, any enchanted fire resistance, anything, then you need it. So yeah, I decided to explore. Found an Enderman pretty quickly, which was weird, but he must have just spawned the night before. So I decided to put up an umbrella and see if I can get a pearl out of them. So what an umbrella basically is it's 3 blocks high, but the third block is completely a canopy. So essentially, the Enderman is 3 blocks high, so he can't walk underneath this. I can because I'm only 2 blocks. So basically, I build it and then hope that he's still nearby enough to aggro. I look him in his eyes, and he comes at me. And he can't get you. If you're rushed and you build the canopy, or the umbrella rather, to where it's not fully completed, then he can still get at you. But more often than not, you're just going to sit under here and hit him until he dies. Didn't get a pearl out of it. Kind of unfortunate. Was a little bit irritated, but I decided to soldier on, and I found some cotton, which had I been paying any attention, the first day I would have known where to go. So I actually ended up going, I think it was west from my base, whereas when I first saw the sheep that I didn't realize I didn't see was actually east. So found them, and I decided there were some red flowers nearby, so I would get some OG bed action going on here. So on the original version of Minecraft, all beds were red, despite what color of cotton you used. I think originally all sheep were white. I could be wrong on that, but um, so at some point there was a patch where there was different colors, and you'd still get a red bed, and the red beds were the OG, so that's what I went with. And since I was so far away from my base, I decided, and I knew where the other chickens were already, I just needed food, so these chickens met their fate. I also got some feathers out of it. I found a little cave here. A little zombie just chilling down there decided to ruin his day. So I went down and made that happen. Had quite a few torches, so decided to torch it up. And of course, it's just a little through cave. These things are pretty common. They just go down. They make you think that you found a nice cave, and then, oh, great. It's fantastic. So then I made my way back to base a little bit later than I should have. It was getting pretty dark, and I was pretty far away still. So I don't want to say I was panicking at this point, but my anxiety level was definitely higher than it was when I was just killing chickens. But as soon as I saw that landscape, I knew I was getting close. My coordinates were pretty close too, and then when I saw that, I knew I was close. And then I saw the light there. So now you see why I like maps. I don't like walking by coordinates. If I wanted to do math and figure out things like that, then I would do math and figure out things like that. I'm here to play Minecraft. I don't know if you're all aware, but Minecraft's pretty fun. So I set up a little spot for the bed there, set up my first sweet dreams, and got my spawn point. So I felt pretty good after that. Cooked up some meat, got some iron going, got some iron done, got that out of the cooker there, and just, yeah. Came out, and there was a skeleton just chilling there. He wasn't chilling. He was on fire. But he was there. Decided to make hay while the sun was shining. Not... That didn't make sense. Killed the spider, didn't get any string. I was trying to make a bow. Did not work out, but many opportunities to be had. At this point, and I didn't do the math, but I figured I had enough iron to make iron armor, and I was right, so I made some iron armor. And that's good because not the whole reason, but I really wanted to go to the nether to see how that was, so I knew I needed armor of some kind. Made some torches, decided to make my trapdoors after forgetting how many planks that required, so that I could mine for some diamonds here in a little bit. But I wasn't mentally ready for that yet, so I decided to do a little project. Had a nice little natural water spot here, so I surrounded with dirt and decided to start getting some sugarcane growing so I could get a map going. So after I did that, I headed down to my little mine shaft to ate some chicken, and got going. Forgot where the entrance was again. I'll probably at some point end up, making this a little bit easier to get to, but for now, it serves its purpose. It's down to the layer I want, and I will, conceivably, I should be able to get some diamonds, and probably a lot of coal, probably a lot of iron. So here's what I do. I set up, okay, so I did that kind of fast, but you mine out one block, you put a trapdoor above that, you stand by the trapdoor, open it, and then close it without moving. So when you do that, it will make you go into a crawling position. The reason that you want to do this is because you can actually view more blocks without mining as much. What I used to do when I strip mined, which strip mining is basically just mining one direction for a long period of time, trying to find materials. So here you go. Found lapis pretty quickly, and that'll be important to have. Just 2 blocks of it. And honestly, there's probably more there that I just missed if I had mined a little bit further, but I was kind of on a mission at this point. But strip mining is just material gather, so in this case, it's mostly going to be cobble, going to be some diorite, there's going to be some andesite, some gravel, maybe some flint. But my whole goal here was to get diamonds. Found some more iron, which was good. Iron and coal pretty quickly. I mean, so I'm showing you this in real time. So as soon as I started mining, I did that. So then I cut there after I mined all the coal that I could. I figured that was kind of boring to watch. And that happens a couple of times. But when I'm moving forward, it's real time. Okay. So at any rate, so when you're at this level, diamonds are at the highest possible, basically spawn rate, I guess you could call it. There are more veins of it nearby. Your statistics of getting them are higher. So that's why I do this. Some people might call it kind of cheating the game, but I don't know. It takes a lot of patience and a lot of persistence, and sometimes you feel like, man, I should turn left here and start going that way, or I should turn right here and start going that way. No, just keep mining straight ahead, because you're either going to run into a cave, or eventually you're going to run into diamonds. It's statistically, it's very low probability that you're not going to. So that's what I did. And the reason that you do it the way I used to do it is I would carve a 2x2, and I would just go. And I thought, well, if I do 2x2, then blah blah. But the problem with that is you use a lot more materials. You lose a lot of iron because your pickaxes eventually they go bad. And there it is. I found it pretty quick. It only took a couple minutes, honestly. Found 2 blocks, got really irritated, and then I mined down thinking maybe, and there they were. So I actually found 4 blocks, which is fine. All I really wanted was 3. You know, obviously I would have taken 8. But this early in the game, before you have any enchantments on your tools, you really don't want to mine those. So I went back to the base there and decided to stash all the stuff. And you can see I got a pretty good chunk of stuff. And this is without any enchantments. And what I mean by you don't want to mine them is that until you get Fortune or Fortune 2 enchantments or Silk Touch so you can bring back the blocks of diamond to do that with, you really don't want to mine them. You're reducing the amount of diamonds you're going to get later. If you find them and you can keep track of it, which, you know, that's part of the game for me anyway, then you can go back and you can get way more out of them. Fortune, you can get as much as I think like 3 times as much per block. So I decided to go outside and do a little bit of monster killing. A zombie there, a spider there, a skeleton there. Kind of dark out, but the moon was full force, so I could see pretty good. And where there are dark places, there are spiders, as they say, maybe. So I went out and, yep, there were spiders, so I got some of them. Trying to get string, trying also not to die, but again, not hardcore, so bed's right there. And I found string. Enough of it. All I need is 3. So I made some sticks, and I got to making a bow. And I had a decent amount of flint, and I had a good amount of feathers from those chickens I killed earlier. So I had enough to make some arrows, maybe like a dozen or so. That thing pissed me off, so I decided to go and get rid of it. Some people like to leave those there. I don't. You know, I don't like the land looking chuffed. Stuff floating. I mean, if the stuff floating is interesting, then sure, but that wasn't interesting. It's 2 blocks of dirt, essentially, so. Enderman decided to come visit, so I decided to protect myself, make an umbrella, and take care of the Enderman problem. And if I remember right, it did end in a pearl. Yep, so that was a win-win. I was gonna take it down, but I decided to leave it, just in case another Enderman decided to show up. It was at this point that I wanted to kind of get a good view. I hadn't really done that yet, so I went up and I got a good view. And I have to say, pretty nice area there. Getting ready. I brought these chickens over, the ones we saw earlier. I was dumb and did not create a penned-in area for them before I did that. But, you know, because as you can see, they like to run away as soon as... But I was able to get them in. I got them to love each other. The parrots and the bats. It is the way of life, the circle of it. Decided to make my first hoe. Got diamond pick here, just so I could get it and be done with it. I want to get that out of the way. Expanded my area here. The sugarcane wasn't growing very fast, and I wasn't sure if it's because there wasn't dirt beside it. In all honesty, it was probably because there wasn't any light present at night. which, if you do not know, if you add light above your farm area, at night they will still grow as though it's day. I don't know if they grow as fast, but they do still grow. You need sunlight to grow, so that's the whole point. This is just me being OCD. I just put them down in the spots that get moisturized by the water there, and here's me adding the light. So I probably kind of just figured it's a good idea. I was growing sweet berries and hay and sugar cane, so it just made the most sense. And then I got paranoid about whether or not that made a difference to have dirt on either side of it, so I added more dirt. So there comes a point in each world where I'm not sure what to do next. This was that point. I checked the furnaces, I had some iron in there, and then I didn't know what else to do, so I just went mining. I mean, this is Minecraft, right? So I went down and went back to my little, one by one and started just going. Mined for a little while. Didn't get anything too crazy, as you can see there, but got a couple of things. Got some redstone, so it wasn't a waste of time. Plus, it gave my crops some time to grow. So after I did that, I went out and decided to get some more materials. I actually was kind of looking for wood specifically, but I was looking for oak. I don't know why. I just like oak. But I was looking for it for materials for building. I ended up just using it as raw material later, I'm pretty sure, but at the time I was looking for it. So I was just kind of looking around here. I noticed right now there's something strange right on the left side of the screen. Now keep in mind I haven't played on the new update yet. This is the first time. So I went towards it and I found this. And I'm not sure what you call these. I haven't looked it up. But it's interesting. It's like the nether coming out of the ground, which is really cool. And there's a chest. There were fire protection boots there. There was some flint and obsidian. So I bounced around a little bit there. I was pretty excited that I found this. And that's why I didn't look up much information about the nether update. The truth of the matter is there's a lot of videos out there that were kind of spoiling it. And I didn't really want to be spoiled by it. When I picked up Minecraft after taking a break for a couple of years, there were so many new things in it that I really enjoyed discovering. And that's the whole game to me. So I got excited about that. So I noted where that was. Didn't have my diamond pick on me at the time, so I figured I'd come back later and get it. So after that, went out and did a little bit of seed harvest and just get some seeds. I didn't have a ton of them. And I wanted enough so I could actually breed the chickens, and I ended up finding some pumpkins, which is awesome because pumpkins are the greatest. They're the best thing to trade. When I would find a village, it's perfect. It's perfect for trading, getting a lot of emeralds and experience, especially too. It's a good way to farm for experience. So yeah, I could set up a pumpkin farm at some point or another. I'm probably just gonna plant a couple, just to get them going. Yeah, I got caught in the dark again, and I didn't bring a bed with me, but I had gotten a couple of bits of cotton from sheep, so I was able to get away with it. As you can see, I'm sporting my new kicks. So I headed back home with my loot and decided to put it all away, organize it, get it put away neatly. So I got it all put away, and then I left, and then I went right back in and had to remember to reset my spawn point. So that's what I'm talking about. If I hadn't remembered to do that and I died, I would have spawned somewhere, and I probably would have found my way back, but at this point, decided to take the umbrella down. I hadn't seen another Enderman for a while, so, and I needed a new spot to add some farmland, so I did that right here. So the reason I set it up the way I did is, wow, lag. The reason I did it the way that I did is because every 4 blocks away from the water source will be moisturized. That's a terrible word, but it is the word that is proper. So that's what I did. I set up 4 blocks outways from the water source. I think I added more water source later. Yep, I did. There, you could see. That's just me being like, it can't hurt, right? So I did that. And then I added a light source so that it would grow at night. I play a lot when it's nighttime, and I could be close by. Who knows? Doesn't hurt anything. I got plenty of coal. I got wood. I've got an entire forest right there. So, And then I remembered, so I went back. I grabbed my diamond pick. I didn't mark it on a map or anything like that. I just kind of went that way and eventually found it. It wasn't that bad. And I decided to get that obsidian, which I did. And it only took an eternity, but I got it. And then I mined the rest of it. I got enough to where I could make a portal. I'm pretty sure. You know, I know if I was better at the game, I could just make a portal out of a lava pool. But I'm not a speed runner. All right, I've watched those videos. Those are crazy. Those guys, those people, those streamers, they're really good at it. But it's not a skill that I have gotten yet. And then I went and got some cows because why not? I'm gonna make my really sadistic, screwed up cow farm later, and I'm gonna need cows for it. So I got my cows. In fact, I kind of just went right after it and decided to make the cow farm pretty quickly. I grabbed some iron, I made a hopper, and started making some chests. Basically, the cow farm is very simple. You get 2 cows into a 1-block radius on water over a hopper, which is over a chest. You put something over them so they can't get out. You feed them hay, they mate, and they make little cows. So the way the farm works is that the only entity in the game that I'm aware of that can exist in 1 block infinitely are chickens. So cows are not chickens. So that essentially means that once I breed them to a number, I cannot remember the number, I think it's 24, they will get hurt damage until the number of cows that are there die. So once you get an amount of cows in and you start breeding them, you can do that and they'll die and they will drop, they'll drop beef and they'll drop leather. So that's the whole point of the farm. It's kind of sadistic, and I turn the friendly volume down on the game once I make it because otherwise you walk by and there's just cows mooing at you. So I had enough paper. I decided to make it a cartography table. Put it right there so it's out of the way. I did that so I could make a map, and I did that here. Now, the way the table works is that you can make the map bigger by adding paper to the map and just combining it. So that's what I'm doing here. I made it as big as I could make it, which I think is 5 layers. And that's really big, really, really big, and you'll see that shortly. So I made a banner there. I made the banner so that I could mark my base on the map. And you can do that by putting a banner up, having the map in your hand, and then I think right-clicking on it, which is what I do here. So now it's on the map. You can kind of barely see it there. As soon as I did that, though, I looked at the front entrance of my base and decided that it was gross. So I took the banner down and started redoing it. Yeah, it happens. I don't know what to tell you. I didn't like it. I decided that I had laid root to this place. And I needed to make it look at least serviceable. So I got what I had the most of at the time, which was granite. Made it into polished granite, which you can do by combining 4 blocks of it in a craft table. Or I guess you don't need a craft table. But I did that by doing that. And I like polished, andesite, diorite, and granite. But I especially like granite. So I got my little front base set up there. Put my banner back down. Had to go get more wood because I was out of it. I needed to make another door and some more buttons. So I did that. The pumpkins I got earlier, got the seeds for them and started growing pumpkins because why not? May as well. I got space. I may as well do it. I haven't got a farm set up yet or anything, but at least I have some growing in case I find a villager that trades with them, which is why I was setting up the map and which is why I was starting to make banners. That's the first kill I had with a bow. Got the creeper right in the face. And it was satisfying. You can see I've got some snowballs there in one of my chests. I don't know why I grabbed them. I'm not going to use them. They're just there. I'll probably end up getting rid of all but 1 stack of them and calling it a day. But whatever. So you can see I got my map in my hand, right? So that means it's adventure time. But before we do that, I'm going to have to bring this episode to a close. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more.